hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you may be. And this is NerdTube here today with a very special discussion about African American wrestlers being mistreated in WWE and other places. I'm not doing my Vince McMahon impression yet, but I'm pretty sure that I will be getting into it. With me, as always, is Cheeto, Ginger Greek, Zam, and Gary. I am DOZ101, your host for this very special episode. And I would like to start with a very specific name where I think we might have to sit and debate for a bit. Would you guys put Ahmed Johnson on that list of guys that you think that might have not gotten the proper treatment by WWE and Vince McMahon?
I guess I'll go first. This isn't one of the names that I thought that would come up. Here's the thing: is that Ahmed Johnson wasn't. I don't have a lot of experience with Ahmed Johnson. I watch WCW more at this point, but from what he wasn't super talented, and he wasn't and he was bad on the mic, and from what I understand, he was a bear in the back. So it's honestly, he's kind of one of those people that were like. And granted, there were plenty of other guys that were also that way in the back. So I'm not saying he didn't deserve a push, but I'm just saying, I don't know if I would per se give him a push just because of some of those instances that I've heard of. I think one that I heard was with him and Ron Simmons. They had a lot of issues in the backstage,
They did.
And Ron Simmons, from what I understand, is one of the greatest locker room leaders of the time. So anyway, Ginger, go ahead.
Well, I mean, from all the stuff that I read before it all went to crap for Ahmed was that Vince, regardless of the backstage, Vince was really high on him at one point and was going to push him to the moon. I don't know if he would have pushed him to be champion or not. But then it all went to shit when he injured Ron Simmons, and Ron Simmons was out for 9 months, which kind of stuttered his push. And it built a lot of resentment. So when Ron Simmons came back, he beat the living shit out of Ahmed Johnson quite a few times and derailed his push and ended up burying him. And he got released. But the thing is, all the stories you hear, Ahmed was just, a piece of crap. He wasn't nice. He was a stiff worker. Regardless of my skills, just as a person, he always thought it was cock of the walk. So people in the locker room absolutely hated him, and so Ron Simmons just ended his career basically.
Very brief. When I think of Ahmed Johnson, I think of the back in the day version of the black version of Ryback. Everything about him.
That's good.
They follow a similar path. So I'm not surprised he didn't get a push, regardless of his race. And his look. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. But there's a lot of people who we thought looked the part and never achieved anything, and there's a lot of people who didn't look the part and got higher up the ladder than they should have, like Great Khali, for argument's sake. Yeah.
All right, boss man. Any thoughts on Ahmed Johnson?
This was before my time I got back into watching WWE. I was more of a WCW fan at this time. But I have heard stories about Ahmed Johnson being a complete whole nut in the back. Pissing people off like Ginger was just talking about. I've heard all those stories. And about they used to mock him for his his mic style. And it wasn't that he was a stiff wrestler, it was that he was an unsafe wrestler. So there's tons of stiff wrestlers, Vader, Stone Cold Steve Austin is a little bit stuff, Samoa Joe. But the thing with those guys is that they're stiff but safe. This guy would hurt people, the Ron Simmons one was one where he literally kicked him in the stomach and broke 3 of his ribs. So the thing is that this guy wasn't unsafe, wasn't just stiff. He was unsafe for that. So he really hurt people. So I think that once you get the unsafe thing put on you, you're not going to get punched, because the thing is, if you hurt the cash cow, how was the business supposed to be making money?
So that's true. Okay, so I think we would take Ahmed Johnson off the list. Oh, go ahead.
I love how we say that this video is titled "Black Wrestlers That Never Got the Push They Deserved," and we start with Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson, yeah. I figured I wanted to start off the one guy that we were like, I think that's a consensus. But yep. But I'm going to bring up a name that that I think we might all agree on, even though he got the title, WWE never really ran with him, and I'm going to bring up Mark Henry. I think that that's a guy that never really got his due. The world's strongest man, but he jobbed out a lot. He had good in-ring skills. He had good mic skills. His Hall of Pain run is one of my favorite runs of all time that he ever had in the company. But even though he got the belt, he got hurt, and it was like he never got it back. So I don't think Mark Henry was one of those guys that got his full due, despite putting 20-plus years in WWE, which just makes me sad.
Yeah, I agree. Mark Henry is one of my all-time favorite champions, and honestly, it was a damn shame that he did not hold the WWE title at one point. Because look, you can go back in time and you can look at the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title, but in everybody's eyes, the WWE title was that title. Like you had Booker T, who was the world champion. You had Mark Henry, that was the world champion. And you had several others that were the world champion. But honestly, that WWE title with WWE in the name was the most prestigious title, and they still kept that away from very talented African American wrestlers for so long. You know, I'm sorry, like, you know, and we've already said about Booker T, but it's like, yeah, Mark Henry's one of those that I would have put that strap on long ago. Like probably when he came back. Was it mid 2000s when he came back? And you're right, the Hall of Pain run was a really good run.
Yeah.
If anything, I would have put it on him there. I would have taken him over to the other brand, and I would have pushed him there, because at that point, wasn't it who was holding the? Was it still John Cena around that point?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like just World's Strongest Slam that MFer and just take the strap off of him. I'm sorry, like they complained in the 2000s about Mark Henry not Mark Henry, that John Cena not having enough good opponents, and that's only because they didn't push them. Like Mark Henry could have been one of those if they would have pushed him the right way. Sorry, before we move on, Shredder's got a couple comments here.
All right.
Speaking of someone who
I'm fucked over. Yeah, I was going to bring D'Lo up next, but yeah, we'll get to him. Yeah.
And then Mark Henry Mark Henry in his first few years was the shits as a worker and a sexual chocolate gimmick. Okay, the sexual chocolate gimmick, I don't blame him for that, because that's a gimmick. That was writing. That's not how you work.
Yeah.
Never get him to the top, but I'd say our 2002s. Yeah, and I agree with the booking. Go ahead, Ginger.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Henry, okay, prior to the Hall of Pain, I could take him or leave him. I enjoyed the sexual chocolate thing for what it was. It was funny and all of that. But when he started doing the Hall of Pain stuff, I absolutely fell in love with Mark Henry. It was the best ever kind of heel turn for a character that I can remember. Obviously, now we've got like, Hulk Hogan's was probably the best one, but I loved the Hall of Pain because Hulk Hogan was already an established megastar, but Hall of Pain took Mark Henry from obscurity that he was in. I mean, for fuck's sake, a couple of weeks ago, he was doing a dance off with bloody the Great Khali. And then he comes in and he does this Hall of Pain thing. And it was just the best run. They did it absolutely right when he got the title as well. Sadly, because he's injury prone, he had to drop the title. But when he did that retirement speech,
that was the greatest thing I think in the modern era I ever saw.
The best thing in wrestling ever. I put it high, best promo. I put it higher than the pipe bomb for me, just because it was just solid. It came from the heart, but they botched it. Yep. They should have given him the title. He should have taken it, even if he just held it for a couple of months. He paid his dues, and he deserved to be the first black WWE champion. I mean, that was the stratosphere. Everyone still talks about that to this day. You often see it pop up in videos. And I just think Mark Henry was robbed. And he was even hilarious as a color commentator as well. Like a couple of times when he'd sit in on match, I'd be pissing myself laughing. So love Mark Henry. He definitely deserved it. He was robbed.
Yep. Sam?
Yeah, just want to second a lot of what Ginger said regarding that promo that everyone knows, that promo where he then turns on John Cena, the salmon colored jacket. It was so genuine. Everyone genuinely thought that this was it. It made sense as well and all of that. And yeah, to waste that moment just to give Cena somebody to bury is absolutely ridiculous.
Sorry.
I did not like the silverback gimmick at all. I mean, what the hell were they thinking? Seriously, what the hell were they thinking? Calling him that was just absolute joke. But when you got somebody who is the world's strongest man, whether it happened years ago or whatever, you run with that, and then you make him lose so many matches and not beat some of the top guys when he could have been a fantastic monster heel, and he could have backed up his mic skills a second to none. What a waste, really. Like, it's so often when you look at some of the talent out there who got an opportunity to make a name for themselves just to be buried by the top stars. And these top stars don't lose their credibility by losing the odd match. People like John Cena, I remember the first time he fought Batista, he lost immediately, you know what I mean? Like, to him, got fucking owned. He's been buried by The Undertaker. He's lost to people like Daniel Bryan. He's lost to certain people. He's still a top guy. Give the rub to somebody who really genuinely needs it. Just to push them that a little bit over the edge, who paid their dues, and they never did it to Mark Henry. And it's very unfortunate. I'm glad that he did win the World Heavyweight title and all of that. I do think he will be a Hall of Famer without a doubt. You know what I mean? But it's unfortunate he never won the WWE title.
I just want to bring up what Shredder says here about him being, him holding the ECW belt. And honestly, I was one of the people that said, you know what? I used to review ECW back in the day, the WWE ECW, and honestly, it was not a bad product. The only problem with ECW was the name.
If they would have called it anything else, it might have been successful.
And but it was good. There was good matches on there. There was good. I mean, and Mark Henry in that version of ECW worked. Like he did really good in there. And I do remember him holding that belt over there. Now that Shredder mentions it, and it's still a really good. It was still a really good run, and God, Mark Henry just deserved it. Boss man, go ahead.
Yep.
The first time, kind of, I remember back was when he was put with the Nation of Domination. I thought that was an interesting gimmick. I mean, there's kind of racial elements to it that kind of troubles me. And then in the Attitude Era ended, and he got some of the most cringy, what the hell are they doing to this poor guy ideas, especially with the birth of the hand gimmick, which was him. I mean, here's a guy, and he's like mid-20s, early 30s, who's getting on with Mae Young, who at that time, what was she in the 60s? How I don't know how old Mae Young was in the 90s. But anyway, it just seemed inappropriate. And then they put him in this whole thing when he calls in the Razorback, and I was thinking, so you're a black guy and you're likening him to a primate. Yeah, that's not racist at all, is it? And everything on the way, so it's what this poor guy done? Because for longevity wise, he definitely deserved it. Because here he is. He's legit one of the world's strongest men. He's a power lifter and all that sort of stuff. So his bona fides are up there. But I agree with 100% with what Shredder said. The Hall of Pain thing was amazing.
Yeah, the Hall of Pain is legendary.
His promos, I thought his promos got a lot better in that period. I thought his wrestling ability got a lot better in that period. I thought the fact that he had a new face, the most strongest slam, he looked like he killed people. He probably didn't, but he looked like he did. So everything about the presentation of him was amazing, and I think he should get to the Hall of Fame with just that there, in my opinion.
Yep. All right, and then staying in the Nation of Domination, D'Lo Brown. Definitely one of the greatest workers and most underrated workers I think the business ever had. For real, for real. First Eurocontinental champion, Kurt Angle, you don't count. Sorry, you don't. D'Lo Brown was one of those dudes that could have a good match with absolutely anybody. He did the head shaking thing, which was so cool. I remember playing as him in the WWE games back in the day. Man, I fucking miss and love D'Lo Brown in the Nation of Domination. Oh, man. But what do you guys think about D'Lo? Anyone wants to take it?
If you don't want me to, can I just quickly start though?
Yep.
But I don't want to say too much. But I just don't think he. What was the name of that person he paralyzed by accident?
Draws.
What's his name?
Darren Draws.
I don't think that. I think honestly that scars him he was never going to recover from that, and unfortunately, it put a shadow over his career. So I think, as far as if that wasn't the case, who knows where his career could have gone? But that definitely didn't help it.
You know, but I do want to counter that. But I don't think, if I remember correctly, it wasn't, Draws did not get paralyzed due to, was it neglectful, like, in ring
No,
work?
what happened was in a house show, D'Lo had this move where he'd do a running power bomb, and there's several. What's the word?
Somebody threw a drink in the ring, if I remember right.
Well, Joseph said, D'Lo said that isn't the case, but he said that like something went wrong, and kind of instead of dropping him only for a power bomb, his head went in between his legs, and he basically compressed his neck, and we know how that works when you're running at a rate speed.
So
Just a couple more things, like. I also put him in the same bracket as people like Too Cold Scorpio. I know that might sound like,
I was going to bring that name up too, Too Cold Scorpio. Yeah.
And there's just some people I just can't see as the top tier guys, regardless of their race. And I just always felt that he was just a shade below. You know what I mean? Mid Carter. He just always came across as a mid Carter. If he ever pushed it, don't get me wrong. There's people like Steve Austin, who I never really thought would make it, and he did. You know what I mean? But I just looked at him as Stunning Steve and the fucking Hollywood Blondes and shit. I never thought he'd be one of the biggest guys ever. So there is a possibility, but as far as I was concerned, he was always ever going to be a mid Carter. Anyway, move on. To anyone else who wants it.
I'll take it. D'Lo Brown was probably my favorite WWE Attitude Era wrestler, because he seemed to do it when some people do wrestling, it looks like it's natural, like it floats, like, because he had one move where he'd stand up and it didn't look like he was moving, but he would like do this leg drop where he'd sort of like move his head, and then all of a sudden, poof, he just leg drop on him. It looks amazing, and plus I loved his two finishes. I loved the low down and
the sky high.
Yeah, I thought both of them looked amazing. I mean, I'm very surprised that no one really does the sky high anymore, because I always thought that move looked amazing.
But Shredder's interesting here. Droz and D'Lo have never figured out what went wrong. Droz's head smacked off the canvas and fractured 2 vertebrae. He was left quadriplegic after surgery to reduce the swelling in his spine.
It wasn't even the move that did it. It was the surgery afterwards.
Yeah, Droz talked D'Lo out of quitting the business. He held no ill will towards D'Lo and has repeatedly said that it was an accident.
So that was kind of my point, is that it had to have been some. I don't think it was and Zam's right. It's a mark on his career, but at the same time, when you have both people saying, "Look, we don't know what happened, but something," So I don't know if it was in ring work that was even the problem there, but I agree. Ginger, you go ahead.
Well, look, I mean, D'Lo's a trainer. You know what I mean? He trains people now. So he was solid. He never had a reputation of being dangerous or stiff or unsafe to work with and all of that. But it's just one of those unfortunate things that happens. Look what happened with Rey Mysterio. He killed a guy with a 619. So, it wasn't.
Sorry,
yeah.
I had no idea about that.
There's video of it. You can see he hits him. But obviously, it didn't really hit him hard, so there was obviously a problem there. But
was it a jobber?
Killed him. No, it was some
Paraguayo Jr.
Yeah.
Yep, Paraguayo Jr. Because I remember that was a big thing back in 2015. But yeah, to stay on topic, these things do happen. They say, don't try this at home, and for good reason. You see stuff like this happening all the time. Yeah.
619 of all fucking moves.
No. Well,
it was the drop kick. It was the drop kick into the.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, into the ropes.
Apologies. Yes. Let's see. He snapped his neck on the ropes. That's right. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, Shredder. Speaking of, where the hell are you? Like, we know you're typing, but where the hell are you? We could have used you for this, definitely.
I already reached out to him. He said he's busy at the moment. So,
that makes sense. But we're glad that you're here with us.
He is our resident Daniel Vance at the moment.
Yeah. This will work out for us.
I mean, D'Lo, he was one of my favorites. I never necessarily saw him as somebody who could lift the world title.
Yeah.
But had he been given it, he would have run away with it. Because he was a phenomenal talker. He made matches interesting and fun, and he could have easily done it. He deserved more than what he got. Even before, the whole Droz thing, he deserved an Intercontinental Championship at least. Kept winning the European title all the time. It's like nobody cares about that. But yeah, I loved D'Lo. He was great.
Yep. And this is going to be the last nation guy I'm going to bring up. I'm going to give love to Kama Mustafa, a.k.a. the Godfather, one of the greatest gimmicks of all time, bringing out the hose. And he was a dude that could talk, he could work, he could do it all. I don't know if he would have necessarily ever won the World Heavyweight Championship or ever been one of those guys, but I think Charles Wright is one of those dudes that doesn't get enough love in the business. One of the Undertaker's buddies. But anybody got anything they want to say about Kama Mustafa, a.k.a. the Godfather?
I mean, I'll start off. The Godfather was funny, but it was his gimmick was kind of one of the things that I didn't like about the Attitude Era. I mean, was it funny that with the hose and everything? Okay, yes, it was funny. I laughed, but it got really old really quick for me. Now, in regards to his in-ring work and everything like that, I never really had a problem with it. I mean, if they would have given him a different gimmick eventually, and maybe gave him some better people to work with. I'm trying to remember, who did they tag him with? Was it Val Venus for a while, or was it?
Yeah,
it's Val Venus, D'Lo. I'm trying to think who else it was.
Did they tag him with D'Lo? I said, this is back in the WWE that I watched more WCW.
They were tag team champions. Him and D'Lo were tag team champions from.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, with Godfather, it was just I always loved him on the mic. I always thought he was great on the mic.
Yep.
And honestly, I think with his current gimmick, I don't think he could have ever held the pimp gimmick. I don't think he ever would have been allowed to hold the title.
Yeah,
because
but I suppose that you haven't read the racist gimmick they gave him before those two.
With the Papa Shango gimmick. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
Was he? Oh, he was Papa Shango. That's
he was
right.
Papa Shango. Yeah.
I forgot. I remembered Papa Shango.
I've ever seen in my life.
Most notable for missing his cue at the finish of WrestleMania 8. That's probably the thing about Papa Shango that I'm going to remember the most. And that voodoo spell against the Ultimate Warrior. Fun fact, bringing it back to Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed tried to imitate Jim Ross because he was pissed about something and demanded a meeting. Okay. I never knew that.
Well, and Ahmed's attitude changed in the meeting when, and then continuing here, when the Godfather was also sitting in the meeting, and to make sure nothing physically happened to Jim Ross. Yeah, I read that. I think it was Shredder who posted that in either in Nerd Nation or in Fanboy Rage page. By the way, plug for our Facebook groups.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember Shredder posting something about that. And you know what? That's one of those instances where we hear about Ahmed. As I said, I don't think Ahmed deserved to be pushed to the moon, regardless of skin color. I feel like he was just, a jerk and a bully, and he tried to use the size to intimidate people, and then Godfather rolled up who's
but he did the thing that annoys me. He said he didn't try to get better. Say what you want about Mark Henry, he has tried to get better every year that he was in the WWE. He tried to get better in the ring.
Yep.
Also, it says Papa Shango was
more sinister and serious. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. And then he debuted in the Nation the day that he got there, which it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's not somebody I could have seen as a champion ever. I love the guy. The Godfather gimmick did run its course. I preferred him as Kama Mustafa. And in the Right to Censor as well, I enjoyed him.
Oh my God,
remember that?
Yeah,
I loved Right to Censor.
The Good Father.
It took them.
The Good Father. Yeah.
It took them 20 years, but they finally won the war in the end. The Right to Censor won out.
Really but he's not somebody I could have seen as a major champion. A couple of tag titles.
Maybe the Intercontinental, but that would have been about it.
Not even that. That's at a stretch, maybe.
Oh, okay. He did win the Intercontinental title,
I thought he was the IC champion for a bit.
Yeah, he won it in 99.
Yeah, you're right. He was. Charles Wright to this day will not talk about his days as a good father here.
Because he hates the Right to Censor gimmick. He hates it with a passion.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Our fans loved it. Like all of us loved it. Every time we saw them come on, they were just brilliant.
Yeah, they were heat magnets.
Yeah, but he also probably saw it as the downfall of his career. because after that, what did Godfather do besides a couple appearances here and there?
That was it.
Yeah, like I don't remember seeing him do anything.
That was the end.
Okay, so to add to this is Black History Month. It's kind of why we're.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Just want to quickly add this regarding the Godfather. I think maybe being Undertaker's best mate did help him with his career to a degree, because he was going nowhere with all these different gimmick changes. You know, Papa Shango, Godfather, as well as Goodfather. Like, really, where did his career actually go? I mean, there was a period in the WWE where you didn't necessarily need to be at the top; you just had to have a good gimmick. But after a while, if you weren't getting to the top, then you weren't really getting anywhere. And that was probably just before.
Yeah, you're getting a paycheck.
Yeah. I guess, but sometimes then, like, if you're not, like, you need to have some sort of sustained credibility, or you just gonna end up being a glorified jobber.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. So, like I said earlier, yeah, being Undertaker's friend did have its benefits though, but it kept him in a job.
Okay. Yeah, because all right, so. The reason why we're doing this is Black History Month, and I was today years old when I just found out that you guys in the UK don't celebrate Black History Month until October. Why the fuck does America get a short month? I don't understand that. But
America hates black people, so they give you the short.
I guess that's just how it is.
That statement.
Yeah. But
acknowledge you by giving you a shit month, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a guy that we all can agree with that never got his due, still pisses me off to this day. Ron the Truth Killings should have been the WWE champion in 2011. With that little Jimmy run, that was some of the funniest stuff I ever saw in my entire life. I still to this day could go back and watch the little Jimmy run and crack the fuck up like no tomorrow. And he should have beaten John Cena for the WWE title in 2011. And it pisses me off that they didn't give R-Truth his due either. R-Truth, the talented dude that could work, he could fly, he could do all kind of shit. He could talk.
The guy's in the fountain of youth. I mean, he just doesn't age. You know, like, I think he's like knocking on 50 now.
He is 50. Yeah, he's in his 50s now.
Exactly. He's the definition of black don't crack.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got every attribute you require, and he's somebody who's paid his dues. Somebody that the fans would love to see at the top of the game. I think he'll be a fantastic babyface. I really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, you know, I mean, he was just the Vince's jester, basically.
Yeah, he should have beaten his childhood hero, John Cena. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, R-Truth was he was
Ron Killings in TNA.
No, I know, but he was TNA champion at one point too.
Yeah, he's NWA champion.
Yep.
Or NWA champion, my bad. He was the world champion in TNA. There we go.
Yeah.
But he was one of those dudes that as a heel could have carried that world title and been like, yeah, you know, little Jimmy, like, you said that I could never do it, and yet here I am, rah, 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 and that would have just been some comedy gold. But, you know, the powers that be, Vince, decided the truth wasn't good enough to do it.
So, sorry, just to add to it, like, this is where Vince misses a trick, or he just can't help himself, or maybe he just doesn't want the idea of maybe a large black audience having to follow somebody who they could root for. He would have been, in my opinion, the black version of John Cena. You know what I mean? And it just didn't want it. It just did not. He just didn't want it to happen. You know, you could just tell. You know, he did not want that to happen. He would have got massive followings, way more black people watching the show than there is already. I mean, having somebody like R-Truth who is phenomenal in every department. What a waste! What a fucking waste! Now I think about it, I'm actually that pisses me off thinking that he never held the title.
Shredder dropping his Daniel Vance knowledge here. What didn't help R-Truth and also Miz was that the pay-per-view that they tagged against Rock and Cena had lower numbers than the previous year, and of course, Rock and Cena weren't blamed for that. That's because nobody wanted to see Rock and Cena. Like that's why. Like nobody cares.
Plus the thing is that Ron Killings had a move that he used to do that wasn't his finish, that should have been his finish. Because he used to do this move where he'd do a suplex and then he'd like most of the guy under it and he'd do a Stone Cold Stunner. That should have been his finish, but it never was for reasons that I could never.
I know it was like, wasn't it like a spinning forearm or something like that? Like
no, it was like he would pick him up to do like a suplex and then he would drop down like a stunner.
No, that wasn't his finisher though. That's what Gary's saying.
It was a signature move, but it should have been his finisher.
Yeah, what was his
Well,
finisher?
something like that
though?
sounds like a finisher.
His finisher was like that
corkscrew thing. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
corkscrew. Yeah, a corkscrew thing that he would do.
forearm
Yeah,
or something.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's like the people's elbow getting a pinfall. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, guys, really?
Yeah, come on.
Tito Santana 2.0. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
With the flying forearm, but with a spin.
Yeah, I loved R-Truth. I loved Ron Killings. Ron Killings in TNA was out of this world, and I knew when he was going to WWE, I was like, "Why? You're just going to get jobbed out." But then he started doing the whole going crazy gimmick. I didn't really care for the little Jimmy thing, but they could have really run with the going crazy thing. Like they could have definitely put the title on him, and
Yeah, thank you.
it could have absolutely run him great as a psycho. Just an unhinged champion. It would have been brilliant because the Ron, you can give him anything and he'll take it to the moon. He was brilliant. He's loved by everyone in the locker room. Fans they love him. He's definitely given us some of the funniest moments in WWE recently. And
24/7 championship.
Yep, the 24/7 title.
24/7 championship, but he also, just some of the things where he comes in, I think it's like, oh, I'm in the Royal Rumble. He's like, oh, wait, no, I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Just things like that. And he definitely should have had way more than what he was given. It was one of the biggest robberies was R-Truth.
Yep. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to the panel, and one of you guys can pick a name that I might not have mentioned yet, because in case I forget, go ahead.
All right, so I'm not going to pick the one I'm thinking of because I know Ginger's going to pick this one. So I'm going to, but this person is also somebody I always preach to the moon that should have always gotten a push back in 2003, 2004, or 2002, one of those years. Shelton Benjamin. You have got to be kidding me that he did not beat Triple H for that title. How
do you beat Triple H 3 times in a row and then not follow up on that? That's what I still don't understand. You beat Triple H 3 times in a row, one by pin, one by countout, one by DQ, and then they don't run with that for a pay-per-view?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, he was so. He gave us some of our greatest moments in the early 2000s. I mean, that super kick from Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Like, remember that springboard out from the outside?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like, even though Shelton didn't win that match, like he was so talented.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had such great in-ring presence. Yeah. I mean, they had the mama gimmick, which was okay, a little stereotypical.
Buried him.
Yeah, they kind of buried him there a little bit.
Yeah, buried him in my opinion.
Yeah, but they could have ran with that because then Mama could have came in and slapped Triple H, and then he could.
It's racist. It's racist as well. There are racial elements there too, if you think about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
stereotyping.
So.
Maybe stereotyping.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's racist, but I agree with you. It's kind of
stereotyping. Stereotyping to a degree is racism to a degree. Yeah, I mean, if when you make it about black people, yeah, for sure.
And then how do you take him to ECW and not put the title on him there? That's where he would have shined at right there was the ECW, because he was one of those guys. If you go back and watch 08, 09, that was prime WWE ECW. You had guys like Goldust, Yoshitatsu, Sheamus. You had a bunch of guys, Christian, Matt Hardy. Cheeto knows what I'm talking about. They had a hell of a roster. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shelton Benjamin was teaming with Charlie House until about 2004, 2005. Yeah, they gave him the run with the IC title, and he should have been pushed toward the top. I agree.
Well, I thought it was early too. I might be right. As I said, that's kind of my dark ages of wrestling. I didn't watch as much back then. I didn't really get back into it until 2005, 2006 when I started watching TNA.
And he was a tag team. He was a tag team wrestler as well, Cheeto. That's how he began. And he was, you're a good wrestler when you're the one who just sticks out, majorly in your tag team, and.
Well, yeah, that's Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. I mean, that
I mean, because the thing is that I remember every year when he started doing Money in the Bank, he'd have one spot in the ladder match.
You knew he was going to do something crazy stupid.
Like that. I mean, I can't remember what year it was where he literally from the center of the ring where the ring was, he was on the
Are you talking about the spot where they boarded up one ladder and then he went up and ran the ladder and then knocked out Jericho?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd also the one where he leaped literally from from when the Rocks were to the
Yeah.
literally,
Yep.
he literally springboarded on it, and literally you couldn't have like rehearsed that any better.
Yeah.
And also,
It's
like,
like,
I'm not sure if you're talking about one of those ladder spots. The actual ladder gave way just as he leaped.
Yep. He did the Spider-Man.
It was so close to being a botch, but he pulled it off with the ladder giving way. It was like something from a fucking movie.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Love that guy, man.
Yeah,
Fantastic
and I would
wrestler.
have put that. I would have put the strap on him back then.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and as I said, man, he was so good. Every time he was running, I'm like, man, this is gonna be it. Like this is gonna be a great match. And I loved. I mean, when he was the gold standard in ECW, like as I said, ECW, except for the name, was actually really good. Nobody gave it a shot because of the name, but if you could get over the name, it was actually a decent product. Honestly.
Yeah, go watch it on Peacock. Honestly, go watch that WWE ECW. It's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. At least I think, anyway. All right, so there's, I'm sure, many other names.
Oh yeah, I'm going next.
Okay, go ahead.
It's gonna be the five time.
I knew this was coming. I knew he was coming. I knew. Yeah. Okay, Ginger, you take it.
My all-time favorite wrestler. Absolutely love the dude.
Really?
Yeah. Booker T is my all-time favorite wrestler. Just everything about him. I loved him when he was in Harlem Heat. I thought he was phenomenal. He was a standout when he was in there, and when they gave him a push at WCW, I was so happy. And the fact that they gave him a push and ran with it, they didn't just stick him right back into the tag team. They ran with it and they put the belt on him, and they kept putting the belt on him. And I just thought it was one of the few things at that era of WCW that they were getting right. And that's what he just elevated him. And then he gets to WWE and they bury him in the most racist bullshit fashion ever.
That still angers me to this day.
Stupid. That's I never liked Triple H, and that solidified my hatred for Triple H, because that epitomized everything about Paul. That he just fucking will not yield to anyone that he doesn't want to yield to, or Vince just didn't want to push him. He should have been WWE champion. He could have carried that company, no problem whatsoever. And they botched everything about him. Goes to TNA and absolutely
No. You can't go there yet. You cannot gloss over the greatest King of the Ring of all time. Period.
Of course. Yep. Yes, I was going to mention that. But
Yep.
But what I mean is, he just continually shows you he made King of the Ring relevant.
Yep.
Nobody cared about it. He made it relevant. This is how good Booker T is. Booker T and RVD were literally the only guys who regularly were being pushed from WCW and ECW
through the invasion. Yep.
Was the worst booking decision they ever made with him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Because what they did was they had Triple H cut that racist ass promo, and then they had him go like on a TV show, and he's like, "That wasn't racist." Yeah, we worship William Regal. Fuck William Regal. It's all about King Booker, the greatest King of the Ring of all time. Damn it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll never live that down. What they did to Booker T, never. So
and even the way they had Batista basically bury him, like he had a good run with Batista, but we all could tell they weren't going to push him to the moon.
No, they weren't.
That.
He beat the fuck out of Batista back.
He did for real too. Yep.
Yeah. But Batista was throwing his weight around, and
Booker was just love the guy.
So I just want to. Sorry, go on, boss man. You go ahead.
So I was just going to say, the King Book agreement was amazing. Because I mean, the fact is, I keep on doing that because I just loved that part. And I love the fact that I loved the fact that he would have fit English accent.
I love that. I love that he would do that shit where he would talk all prim and proper and shit, and then the minute Crime Time or some other black guy starts to fuck with him, he's like, "What the hell kind of operation is this, Coach? You better get their black asses back in here. I don't play that shit." That was some of the funniest stuff. And then he's like, "I don't speak Ebonics," and I just still to this day that segment was the Jonathan Coachman, Crime Time, and King Booker and Charmel is probably my favorite thing of the mid 2000s that they ever did.
And I do want to comment really quick on Shredder, but this is another instance
you're right,
where they
Shredder.
But this is an instance where they put the world title on somebody when they should have put the WWE title on somebody.
Yes.
Because the world title was like, here's your participation trophy. I'm sorry, I love the WCW title, but like in the WWE, that WCW title was like we're technically putting the world title, or we're technically putting a world title on them, but the most coveted prize in the business at that point was the WWE title. And I mean, as we said about Mark Henry, as I'm going to say about Booker T, you should have put that strap, the highest coveted championship of that game, on them, not John Cena, because now we have John Cena, who's a 16-time, not at this point, but like now 16-time champion. Randy Orton's a 12-time champion. I don't know how many times he's held that belt. It's just it's ridiculous how you have all of these, just these champions that have got like double-digit championship runs, and
they don't deserve it.
And they don't deserve it.
No, they don't deserve the belt. They just don't deserve to have it that many
times. Yeah,
I've never had a problem with John Cena as a champion, but it's just like, like him having the belt like 16, like even Flair, it's like 16 really. And I know that's over a bunch of different titles, like I know it's like some NWA, some's, but it's like you can't, like Booker T has no WWE title, like WWE championship title to his name, but he's got all the WCW championships. And it's like, it boggles my mind how that can be. And then, that Kofi finally, and I don't remember what year it was, but when Kofi won the title, not that Kofi didn't deserve the WWE title, but how is he the first one?
Yeah.
I just want to do two honorable mentions, and then I'll go to my person. First one is Shad Gaspar. Like when he broke up from Prime Time, he looked the part. He seriously looked the part.
I was hoping for him.
It just got derailed very quickly. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Shad. But at the time, like they changed his gimmick up and his look and everything, and like he went nowhere. Second one is MVP. Like,
absolutely,
the most valuable player, and Montel, what something Porter, what the fuck his middle name was. But the point is, you bring him up as this top tier guy. You already bring him into the business like that, and you never make him that. He ended up just being a fucking joke.
Yeah, he was like the US champion, and
But for me, the guy that was done dirty in the WWE, who also paid his dues as a wrestler, generally, regardless of what corporation he was working for, is Ron Simmons.
Yes, I was going to mention Ron Simmons big time.
I was going to say, but I thought Booker T.
Yeah, you just look at the acolytes. Which one made it and which one almost made it, and one of them definitely made it. You know what I mean? He went all the way to the fucking moon. Won the WWE and that's JBL, who I loved his Bradshaw more than I loved his JBL. Fun enough,
Bradshaw was great. Yeah,
Bradshaw was great, but I actually love the Acolytes a lot. They're one of my favorite tag teams. They're just real roughhouses, poker players, smoke cigars and shit like that. Hustlers, loved them. And they were good guys too. They were never really bad guys once they broke away from the ministry and all of that shit. So for Ron Simmons, who also, by the way, he got Booker T to Lex Luger's Triple H in WCW with Halloween Havoc. They were pushing him to the moon, and then like they let fucking Lex Luger beat him in the fucking final when it really should have been Ron Simmons. Top tier guy, as far as I was concerned, never got his due. Should have had at least one WWE title run, or even World Heavyweight.
He could have beat The Undertaker at King of the Ring 97. That was the time to put the title on him. Could have carried it for a month.
But I mean, phenomenal with the Acolytes, but just unfortunately, he never got his dues as a single wrestler within the WWE. And
he's one of the most popular gimmicks in WWE history. If you think, I mean, that damn gimmick is just
it still holds up. It still holds up to this day.
I find it okay, but it became a bit too much of a parody. For
me, it was whenever they go ahead.
No, just saying, like at one point, like he wasn't able to say any other word but damn. Well, where the fuck did that happen? I've heard the guy speak plenty.
I can tell you exactly when that happened. It was when they did that movie with like LL Cool J and Rebecca Romaine Stamos, and she shows up looking all hot, and then she's like, Ron Simmons is like, "Oh, we got all these drinks for you," and then she's like, "Yo, can I just get a beer?" And then he like marvels, and then he's like, "Damn, that's where damn came from." It was like back then, like 20 years ago.
And just, all of a sudden, he just lost his vocabulary after that. He just became damn.
He was older though. Yeah, that's true. And I think For me, what made it with Ron Simmons and the APA was that damn door. Whenever it used to be, they would go backstage. You had to walk through the fucking door. Otherwise, you'd walk through their wall, and they would bitch about it. They'd be like, "You just walk right through our wall. You need to knock on our fucking door." That's what made the APA just so great. They're just like, leave the door, and you got to walk through the door. That's what made them just so.
Nope.
Frozen.
Oh,
Frozen. I'll read a
Frozen in
comment.
time.
Yep, Frozen in time. He did a date with Maria
Maria.
Kanellis, and every word was damn, spam, ham, jam. I mean,
like as I said, like the thing is that older guys have gotten the run with the belt. Like for example, like you look at, for example, like other territories. You would be, as an older guy who's breaking into wrestling. He says, I'll win a belt. Anyway, but one of my favorite things with Ron Simmons was, I don't know if this is the thing that Fred has just talked about, where they did blind date and he was one of the blind daters.
Yeah, that's what he just talked about. Yeah, that's what he just talked about.
Was it Maria? I think it was Maria. It was a blonde.
Yeah, it was Maria. It was Maria.
Was it? All right.
Yep.
I can't remember the other two guys. I just remember him. And he was like Vietnam and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, but yeah, Rob Simmons, I remember from back in WCW days because he was champion when I started watching it because he beat Vader for the strap and he was really good in that.
God, Vader.
Yeah, Vader. I missed that guy.
You talk about somebody who's undeserved of winning the title and like was pushed to the fucking moon countless times by Vince and was like such a dangerous guy to work with. Almost paralyzed Diesel, by the way. But I see that spot and it still makes me cringe where he just jumped on his back the way he did. Not Vader, sorry, Viscera.
Viscera is another dude,
yeah. Viscera didn't deserve shit.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant Viscera, not Vader. I apologize. I got a mixed up.
I was going to say Vader.
Yeah,
Vader was
great.
great.
Yeah. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, Viscera, my bad.
Viscera did have a moment though at Survivor Series '95. He cut one of the worst promos ever. He just was like, "Big Daddy fool, they don't call you a fool because you're a fool," and that was it. And that was like their build up. And it was like, this is who you choose to push to the moon is Viscera. I'm like, King Mabel, this guy of all people.
He never deserved it. He was awful.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for those guys who had to carry him.
I say we put him in the Ahmed category.
Johnson, we put him in the Ahmed category.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll name a couple of guys who kind of were in the WWE but kind of should have been. Like, I'll name Butch Reed, who was an amazing wrestler who never quite made it. That's a bit for a bit of your own time. Junkyard Don, I think he was like in his mid-40s when he
JYD was over like a motherfucker, man. Yeah, JYD was one of those that could have carried it if they really got behind him.
But unfortunately, nobody.
No, but that's not the guy I'm going to mention. The guy I'm going to mention is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Worked for all three companies. Too Cold Scorpio. He was amazing because he's the first guy, one of the first guys I ever remember. It might have been done in Japan to do the 450 splash as a finish, because he and Buff Bagwell used to be an amazing tag team in WCW. So I remember watching that. I remember watching him in ECW. He is great in that, and he is great in WWE as Flash Funk. Though I do think that Flash Funk was a terrible name, but he was great in that. And he should have been champion. He was one of the few guys who did a lot of the high flying stuff, but he was good at the mat stuff as well. He kind of combined the two.
But Too Cold Scorpio was the first kind of wrestler. Like, I remember just seeing all the high flying stuff because I wasn't watching like everything that was wrestling at the time, but it was between him and who's that guy in fucking WCW, Arachnid or whatever his name was, the Spider-Man guy.
Trying to think.
Arachnid. No, remember him in WCW.
Spider-Man guy?
Yeah, purple and yellow. Google it.
God, that's gonna bug the shit out of me now because I usually know this kind of stuff. But yeah, man, Too Cold Scorpio is somebody that could have main evented.
Somebody was just I was Arachnid Man. Yeah, he I was in awe of like his wrestling and all of that. Whether he could have been a champion, take it or leave it, but he was just one of those that was just a spectacle to watch.
unfortunately, wrestling has always been stifled by having a face of the company. So no matter how good you are, like you could be Junkyard Dog, you could be Tony Atlas, you're never going to get to the top if someone like Hogan's there. You know, they just they just want, like Hogan's there to maybe they'll put a champion, but they're not going to give it to another baby face. And then they're going
but what you look what they did to Paul Tony Atlas when he came to WWE. They made him Summer Simba, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they turn these guys into jokes or stereotypes.
All these racial stereotypes, like fucking Kamala. Jesus Christ!
No, Kamala's a great gimmick. He was that beforehand. He was doing that.
But dude, did you know? Have you seen the promos? Like, you know what fucking Jimmy Hart would say, that he would pay him by feeding him watermelon.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that ain't racist like a motherfucker, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Like,
I've got a name though that nobody's brought up yet, and Jason's about to pop. Monty motherfucking Brown is another one of those.
I was going to bring up Monty Brown.
Yep, Monty motherfucking Marcus, the alpha male from TNA. Yep, the dude that
who from TNA?
Monty Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I need to quickly Google him. I need a reminder.
Monty Brown.
Was he the second TNA champion? I think Raven was
Yes.
the first.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Monty Brown.
And he was in
WWE.
Yeah.
Could be
ECW as well.
Yeah, Monty Brown is one of those dudes that should have won the ECW title. I don't give a damn what anyone says. It's a damn shame they didn't strap the rocket to him when he got to Vince. But man,
I mean, he was in ECW. I mean, he was.
Yeah, he was in TNA and he was killing it. Yeah. Show needs more juicy. Yeah, where is the bird?
She's in my cupboard right now, but I might try and get another one later.
That would be. I think that's
two of them are making out.
He had one of the best faces I ever seen, because he would literally run into people, but because he was such a behemoth of a man, people just go.
That's the type of move I'm okay with it being a signature. But you got to have a better. He had another move. What did he have? Oh, I'm trying to remember what other movie he had.
I don't know. I thought he did like the Dominator, like an Alabama Slam or some shit like that.
Some kind of Dominator. But
what's that, torture rack? No,
it was like a Dominator, and they didn't like flip him outwards or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Because of Big E's finish there.
Probably. It might have been something.
He did the bounce. Run into people.
Oh yeah, okay. He never did win the TNA title. I do remember that now.
Yeah, I did think so.
Wait a minute. What? He didn't?
No, he didn't.
No.
He fought. He wrestled Jeff Jarrett. I remember in a title match, but he lost.
Maybe that's
that much I remember.
I'm thinking of that title match. But
I'm gonna throw in.
Go ahead.
The name now. Johnny B. Bad.
Johnny B. Bad. Yep.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about him? Because I'm not so sure, to tell you the truth.
I don't know if he's black, but
he's not black.
No, he's not black.
Really?
He's
I'm so sorry. Because
he's Italian. He's white.
Oh my god!
He's
Italian. You're absolutely right.
That's what's his fucking name?
He was supposed to
Mark Mero.
Mark Mero.
He's Italian.
He's Italian. Oh my god! They just done a Muhammad Hassan on him. I'm really sorry because well, the fact that he was doing a Chuck Berry gimmick, you know what I mean? So like. But I initially thought he was black, but now you mentioned it, I realized that.
We could do what like for example. Do you remember what WWE did to One Man Gang when they made him Akeem the African Dream?
Akeem the African Dream, I remember that.
Well, then you got people like Orlando Jordan, he went all over the fucking place, didn't he? You know what I mean? With his gimmicks, and I think he was worse off outside of WWE, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I would say so.
Treated him worse, though, like with that bisexual gimmick.
He was a Little Richard.
He was great in TNA, but the gimmick, I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah. And
Little Richard, sorry, Little Richard.
Yeah, it was Little Richard. Yep.
Very. I'm getting my thing. Yeah.
The half that Roddy Piper.
All right. Actually, there's one. That's everybody. Bad News Brown.
Bad News Brown is another one. Yeah, that's a dude that never got his due either.
I loved his finisher, but he didn't look like somebody who was a high flyer. But he would do the ghetto blaster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell? Like a kick in the back of the head. You know what I mean? I loved it. I like that finisher. Who's Facebook user, by the way? Anyone
That's
find out
Dix-
yet?
I think it's Dixie.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
it's Dixie.
Yep. Let's see. Try and think of other ones. I know we could bring up the New Day because they're technically in the damn thumbnail. Kofi, even though he got the belt, they didn't really run with him the way they should have.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was kind of my point.
Yeah,
Matt was
bad
like,
booking,
Bad booking.
and they made
And
him
Big
drop
E.
it like a bitch.
Big E, I forgot. Here's how bad it is with Big E. I forgot Big E was WWE champion. I legit forgot he won the WWE title.
And was it? Didn't he lose it to Bobby Lashley? Isn't
That's another one too. Bobby Lashley's another guy they could have strapped to the fucking moon, but they didn't. They gave him the belt, and it was like, here you go, and then they took it off of him. And
listen,
Bobby Lashley. Sorry, go on.
Mhm.
I was just gonna say, you guys have always heard me talk about it. 2007 Great American Bash.
Should have beat John
versus
Cena.
Bobby Lashley. They they should have put that strap on Bobby Lashley that night. He earned it. He was doing good at that point. He was over. Then he FU'd him off the top rope or some stupid shit like that and fell on him and then pinned him. I'm like,
his mic skills wasn't that great back then, but he was always playing this softly spoken, big, gentle giant, face type character, and he was obviously going up against John Cena, and he was looked upon as maybe like the alternative Brock Lesnar to a degree. But yeah, they just never stuck with it. And once you lose to John Cena, it's over.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
This is the same era in which the Great Khali was world champion.
Only because Edge got hurt. Had that not happened, we would have never had to deal with that atrocity.
I was going to say, well, I'm going to mention a more recent guy who, thankfully, is still in the business, but Keith Lee. He definitely should have been much bigger than he was. I mean, the thing is that because he had the skills, and they always gave him some really bullshitty gimmicks. Like they gave him, was it Bearcat Lee? It's like who gave him that name? Seriously.
Vince. That was a Vince decision.
Lee.
Yep, Bearcat Lee.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because there's a Brock Lesnar, I think, from the 50s who called Bearcat Right. That's the reason that they gave him Bearcat Lee.
Yeah.
There's just a ton of them that honestly could have gone and then.
Yeah, we could go all day with this if we really wanted to, but.
Are we going to the ones who probably didn't deserve their push because there's not?
Yeah, we can move on to that section. Yeah, we could go on to that section.
Obviously, Viscera is definitely Mabel's is the one that sticks out in my mind. Maybe somebody could bring up somebody that I can't think of at this particular moment in time. But yeah, Viscera for me, like that guy was a safety hazard. One of the worst characters who just kept getting revamped and given more opportunities than he deserves, while there's other wrestlers out there who deserved the opportunity and never even got one.
Yeah, I mean, the guy literally hurt Diesel and then literally broke the Undertaker's orbital bone.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say.
And broke his face. Okay, as far as guys that didn't deserve it, shit. That list is actually pretty damn short for me that I could think of.
Yeah, I was about to say is not. I mean, there's so many there are so many deserving like African American, like people that should have been champions.
Well, I'll tell you another one that could have like if booked correctly, would have been a brilliant, especially as a heel champion. Was Titus O'Neil.
I could have thought that.
I like Titus O'Neil. I think the WWE's absolutely treated him like shit. They have him as an ambassador for Be a Star, even though the shit they've pulled.
Ezekiel Jackson. That's a name I completely fucking forgot.
Ezekiel Jackson didn't deserve a push. No, he
No, he did not.
I mean, sorry, I was just going to say, well, the thing is that there is a lot of, we could bring up people outside the WWE, like New Jack, for example.
New Jack was one of those that was never going to make it no matter what he did because he was crazy. New Jack wasn't going to make it regardless. Yeah.
Mr. Hughes.
Mr. Hughes, that's another damn name.
Jay Lethal would have been awesome.
Jay Lethal's another one. Yeah.
He never went to the WWE, and good for him that he never did.
Yeah.
Well, Jay Lethal is supremely talented. He's like the Shelton Benjamin of TNA. And he had a great Macho Man gimmick. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the Macho Man.
His Ric Flair impression is better.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Ric Flair one.
I want Jay Lethal to be the like this generation's version of Sting, the one guy who everyone knows really popular. Very
That he'll
talented,
never go to
never-
WWE. Yeah.
or maybe until he's 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
But I was just going to say, but I mean, like, there have been kind of people in the background who've kind of been a bit racist and kind of like being prejudicial to what, like, for example, there's been stories that I need to be more than one of Ric Flair being a little bit racist towards, like,
Oh,
like
really?
for example, Teddy Long. Yeah, like Teddy Long said that apparently, like, when they worked together, like Ric Flair said something along the lines of "N-word, are these people with you?" And then there's another story of apparently him going to a black wrestler and saying, "Pro wrestling is a white man's game." I think that's what from New Jack. I think from one that he Hungry Talk Man and the Ice Sheik did together. And there's other stories that I've heard as well where he's been a bit racist. Apparently, Charlotte has those opinions as well. Apparently, but apparently, yeah, because apparently
not
she was
surprised at all.
apparently she was like that towards. Actually, I was going to mention somebody, Sasha Banks. Actually, let's talk about
Sasha Banks. Yeah, okay. There's some women we could talk about. Yeah, Sasha Banks is.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
How do you think Ric Flair feels about Charlotte Flair's husband?
I don't know. I can't really comment on that. I think that
If he's a racist, he probably doesn't like the fact that his blonde, blue-eyed baby is getting some fucking brown dick inside of every fucking night. You know what I mean?
Anyway, I don't know, man. I mean,
brown dick inside of him. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know, but fuck Ric Flair. That's all that needs to be said.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, I used to like Ric Flair because but the more I get to learn about him, the more disappointed in him I am.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
I mean, like, I liked him back in the day in WCW. I liked the Four Horsemen. I liked all that stuff back in WCW. But nowadays, it's like the more I learn about him, the more it's just like, oh, come on, Flair. Like, you're killing me here. Like, I want to like you, but I can't.
Yeah. I want to respect his legacy, but I can't.
Yeah, like it's just horrible.
Yeah, fuck Ric Flair. All right. As far as women go that got treated and kind of are overrated and underrated. As far as overrated, you brought up Sasha Banks. I'm going to say she's overrated. She's been there. She's done that.
Really?
Yeah, there's nothing left for her to do. She's been there. She's done it. She's won all the titles in WWE that she's ever going to win. There's no need for her to ever go back. She doesn't need to be back there. I hope that she does well in New Japan, though. I'm looking forward to seeing her work in New Japan and actually being able to really work her ass off and have some good-ass matches. But I'm one of those that hopes that she don't go back to WWE because she would just be another body on the roster, at least in my view anyway.
Yeah, but she got more than like what she deserved in terms of runs. It's just that she sucks at cutting promos.
Mm-hmm.
She just really look at her debut in New Japan Pro Wrestling. She can't even fucking string two sentences together. Like, I know for a fact that after Jon Favreau fell in love with her after he saw her, I think it was on Hot Ones, and cast her in The Mandalorian, it gave her a script, and she probably couldn't read it properly and deliver the lines, so she was practically a fucking mute in her episode on The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, she looks amazing, like she's one of the most beautiful women in the world, and she can be dangerous to work with at times, but she's given some of the best like women's matches I've enjoyed. Her cage match with Becky Lynch, her match with Charlotte. I've loved the Bianca Belair match, all this kind of stuff. She can put on some great matches if she's got the right opponent. That's for sure. But I think she's gotten, just enough as what she deserves. And she doesn't need to go back to the WWE. She's 30 years old now. She's got another 10, 15 years
31.
if she wants to do wrestling. No, 30. She just turned 30.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And
okay.
So if I was her, I wouldn't go back to WWE in that schedule. Just go and enjoy yourself. Go to Japan. She loves Japanese culture. So just go and do that.
Yep.
Jade Cargill, I'm on the fence with. She can cut a nice promo. She's got an attitude. She's an absolute babe, but she can't wrestle. She's not getting better.
I'll give 10 years of my life to shag her. I swear to God. You know what I mean? I'll give 10 years of my life. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I first saw her, I was smitten. I was like, all right, I would like to be your stalker, please. You know what I mean?
The first time I saw her was when she did like a cosplay for Storm.
Yeah.
And that I was just like, good God
she's so
Almighty.
God, I love her. I love her. She's
yeah.
so phenomenally gorgeous. But I want to go with Jacqueline. I thought she was one of the early female black wrestlers. I thought she was very good. Not too bad on the promos. Yeah, quite technical as well. Had a decent look about her, but unfortunately back then women wrestlers didn't mean shit. Unless you're a Trish Stratus or maybe Victoria.
Or Lita.
Or Lita. That was pretty much it. Everyone else was cannon fodder.
But she got the belt though. At least she got the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't really. I think the women's belt never really didn't mean that.
No,
much,
it didn't. Because
generally,
I was really pissed off when Awesome Kong went to WWE. Like
that's another one. Yep.
Because I knew they were gonna fuck her up. Okay, she happened to get pregnant at the time, and I think unfortunately she had a miscarriage, and that put an end to that run. But I just think it was a bad idea going there. The Knockouts division was amazing. She was one of the best things in there, along with Gail Kim. Gail Kim and ODB and all of them lot were spectacular. But if she'd have come back, I would have loved to have seen her come back in this modern era and have a run.
I think she just retired not that long ago.
Yeah, she just retired like a while ago. Naomi. Yep, Naomi is one of those where it's like a will you, won't you comeback kind of thing. She's won the SmackDown's women's title, but I'm not really sure what else you could do with her. So if she comes back, great. If not, it is what it is. I think
brother, banging that every night. I'm jealous of you, mate. I'm so jealous. I mean, that is one of the greatest arses. She's got one of the greatest arses.
I love how we're talking about wrestling and Sam's down there just talking about who.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen a hooker in almost a month. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about. I see 4 right now. So.
But all right. There's one. How about Jazz?
Jazz is one of those that's underrated. Yeah, doesn't get enough credit. Jazz definitely deserves some love.
Alicia Fox as well.
Alicia Fox, I thought she was pretty. When I saw her wrestle, she was pretty good. She just never was utilized correctly, I don't think.
Yeah,
it was dangerous though. That's the thing. She broke bloody Beth Phoenix's face.
Yeah, she wasn't safe.
I injured a few wrestlers, but I loved her character gimmicks. Like she was good. She could talk.
Yeah,
she played like a bitch really, really well, and all this kind of stuff.
She played the Psycho really well too, because she had that for like a week.
Well.
Yeah,
she's a completely lovely person. Like when you see her a lot on like other stuff.
Yeah.
So but yeah, she's one that would have been fun as a women's champion.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Layla is she got some African heritage?
Yeah, I think so.
No, she's from Britain.
She's from Britain.
Well, she can't be black though because she's from Britain.
No, but I don't think so.
No, I think she's got some kind of North African heritage.
I'm British. I'm from Britain too.
Yeah,
but I think she's got Spanish and North African. I think. Something. I remember hearing something like that back in the. But
North African, still African.
She could work. Yeah, she could work. She had her moments.
She was the best part of what was the
Lay Cool.
Yep.
Oh yeah. The WWE knockoff of the Beautiful People.
That's correct. Yep, that is absolutely correct. Yep.
Yeah.
But I always like Layla. I mean, as I said, I don't feel like she kind of got the just deserves. I mean, she always was kind of second fiddle to Michelle McCool, and I always felt like she probably deserved more. And I think they did feud for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that was about the time I was getting out on wrestling. Because I was back in like 2013, 20.
She is black. Okay. Yeah. Huh.
I thought there was. I knew there was. I thought some kind of African heritage in there, because I remember somebody saying something about that like years ago.
I like Bianca Belair. I think she's very talented.
Yeah, Bianca Belair is doing a good job carrying it right now.
She's one of the best around.
Yeah,
I thought they fucked her over when Becky Lynch literally came back and beat her in 5 seconds. Of it was.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So.
All right, well.
Okay, well they're close to neighboring countries, so
I was about to say that's right across the the
Yeah,
Mediterranean split.
right across the Mediterranean. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So.
All right. If anybody has any other names to bring up,
Well,
Ember
the
Moon.
funny thing with the women, like we're just bringing up the name of women. Some of them have had decent careers. Like you mentioned Bianca Belair. I think her career in the WWE is pretty good. Regardless of that situation with Becky Lynch.
Oh yeah,
she's had a good career.
Oh yeah, okay. I got at least a couple more guys. The Street Profits. They've won the tag team titles, but it's time to break them up and have Montez be the dude. It's time that Montez gets a solo run because that dude, he puts Rob Van Dam's 5-star frog splash to shame. That's
And
how
D'Lo
good
Brown,
it is.
too.
Montez
And D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, he absolutely needs to be a champion.
Yeah, he's got to win the world title.
Amazing.
I'll give one. Yeah, actually, and this is very left field. I would love to have seen more of Reverend Devon fucking.
Oh yeah, I wanted
Devon.
to.
I love that gimmick. Oh, testify, you fucking cunts! Yeah, I love that gimmick so much, man.
But here's the thing: I in TNA, like they split up Team 3D, and Billy Ray went to Bully Ray, and it actually worked. It worked really well, and I really was mad because like I thought Bubba Ray did really good in TNA with Bully Ray, but I felt like you said, Devon I think he was so underutilized. I thought he could have been used so much better.
Yep.
That Reverend gimmick was ideal for him.
Yeah,
it was perfect for him. And
but they didn't use him though. That's the
they brought in Batista.
Yeah.
Well, Crime
Public
Time.
Enemy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Public Country white guys.
Public Enemy. Yeah. They're most
Crime Time. I mentioned Shad Gaspard, didn't I? So
JTG is one of those dudes that he somehow managed to survive being Thanos by WWE. He was like the Milton Adams of WWE, where he was employed for like 10 years straight and no one told him about it. It was like they kept him on the payroll, and it's like, should we let this guy go yet?
The guy would literally hide in the fucking cupboards.
I mean, but let's talk about Crime Time though, because I mean, that was a good tag team. Like the
you think?
Yeah.
Not the gimmick. Them two together were really.
But when they were in the ring, they could work.
Yeah.
Brooklyn. I don't know, man. I felt like the gang
kind of racist gimmick, but kind of they made it work.
The street thug gimmick. Honestly, for Christ, we could bring in 2 black guys. Let's make them street thugs. You know what I mean? It's like, honestly,
that I'm talking about in the ring here.
In the ring, they could work. Yeah.
And I mean, I agree with you about Shad Gaspard. Like after they split him and Shad kind of started coming out and he kind of had that like badass, quieter guy gimmick, and he wore the black trunks. I remember that because I honestly thought he was going to be actually pretty good, and they just never did anything with it.
Nope.
Did we talk about Xavier Woods at all?
No. One of those dudes that will be fine. Like he won the King of the Ring. He got to live out his dream. He's never going to win the world title. So I think Woods has kind of hit his peak. He's got a couple of years, and then I think he'll retire.
You cannot miss out on someone like Xavier Woods. He's made the guy's super fucking. Anyone with a PhD who loves video games, you've got to make him fucking WWE champion, man.
And he's over on the internet too.
And he's over on the internet.
He's so over right now. You got both Kofi and E have won the title. You've got to give it to Woods. I think he's very popular. I think obviously
he deserves it.
He deserves it, but yeah,
he deserves it because he managed.
What's up, Easy? Sam, your favorite.
He was given.
Oh my,
Sam, your favorite guy's here. Yep, your favorite man is here. Easy.
Yeah, where is he? This is my favorite YouTuber of all time. Yeah, I love this guy.
It's not a stream without Easy. Yeah.
Wood ticks all the boxes. I look at him as a black Daniel Bryan. I really do. He's very, very good, and the fact that he hasn't got his just rewards is a shame. Really, I hope one day he does.
Or maybe Daniel Bryan is a white Xavier Woods.
Yeah, you don't know.
Okay.
Sure.
And that's why I love you, mate. That's why I love you.
Xavier Woods definitely needs to get a run.
He's the only one in the New Day who hasn't held his dip.
Yep. He's one of the all. Go ahead.
New Day went from when they joined together. I was like, they're going to get released within a couple of months.
Yep.
But they managed to make it their own. They turned this racist gimmick around and they made it their own. And in the end, it's like 3MB. You never would have seen any of them being world champions, just like in New Day. You never would have seen, although 2 of them deserved it, for sure, you just never would have seen it, but it happened. And,
Xavier Woods is someone that's too small to be taken incredibly as champion. A run with the IC title might be acceptable, but he's someone who can be an ambassador. Yeah, he will be an ambassador for the rest of his life. He'll never get released.
But I'm sorry, like you can't sit there and say about the world champion thing because it's like you got. I mean, Shawn Michaels. I mean, really, who thought he was going to be
Daniel Bryan?
Daniel Bryan,
Rey Mysterio. Like, look, I mean, I'm not saying like to make the guy the face of the company. Just let him win the WWE.
Just have a run with it for a couple of months. Yeah,
that's all you got to do.
From Mania to SummerSlam, and that will do nicely.
Plus, it'll complete. Plus, it'll complete Brock Lesnar's trifecta of kicking the New Day's ass because, like, Brock Lesnar fucking hates the New Day, so that has to happen. Woods has to win the title, and Brock has to come in and beat his ass and get it back.
No. Brock Lesnar just needs to get his ass beat by the New Day is what needs to happen.
They'll come in and just stomp his ass. Xavier Woods like beats him.
Oh, all right. There was ROH. There was Kenny King, and there was his. Who was his partner now? His partner was really good. I tried to remember what his name was. God, why am I blanking on his name? It wasn't Jay Lethal or someone else. And
they're obviously not British because they're probably black, right, Gary?
I can't remember for the life of there you go. Rhett Titus. Yeah, Rhett Titus is an amazing wrestler. He should be in the WWE. There you go.
Right.
That's how he was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rhett Titus wasn't black. Yeah.
God damn it, Gary, you're
I thought he was.
Nope.
No, he's not black at all. My God, he looks like a crackhead version of Jake the Snake. Oh wait,
I should look at the right guy.
Yeah. Rhett Titus. You said, yeah.
I need to see this guy. I need to see this guy. Look, I made a mistake with fucking Mark Merrow, so it's all good.
I'm trying to think of somebody who should have been in the WWE or should be with. How did that happen?
This guy looks like he should be like a fucking, in the KKK, man. He looks like fucking he looks like David Duke's fucking son. You know what I mean? How the fuck do you mistake this guy for black? I mean, you can make a mistake with Mark Merrow, but fuck me, this guy, Jesus.
And can we all talk about one of the greatest wrestlers in wrestling history that never got a title? That is also black.
Go.
No, I just lost his name. Why did I lose his name?
Virgil?
Virgil.
Or maybe the boogeyman.
They're both white.
No, for me,
Mr.
T. The human tornado never got his just desserts. I mean, this alone, he deserves. I'm going to put the clip in here. He absolutely deserves it just for this alone.
I got it.
Is this Dolomite?
Harris twins.
How about the Hodge twins?
The Hodge twins.
I remember.
No, fuck those rednecks.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman?
Dennis Rodman.
Greatest WCW talents ever, never won in a title. Even David Arquette won the title. But
what the hell? Come on now. Chicago won their 6th world championship. They could have.
You got the wrong basketballer. You should give it to Shaquille O'Neal.
Ooh,
yeah.
Mr. T should have been the WWE champion too, damn it.
Yeah, right? He should have took the butt off of Hogan.
Yep. Karl Malone. Yep.
Lawrence Taylor, I know it's a different sport.
My God.
Let me have a look at this.
I just watched that.
All right, where'd you put this at, Ginger? Private chat?
It's in the chat.
Okay.
Watch the single greatest moment in wrestling and you tell me this guy did not deserve to be a champion.
All right.
I just watched that. Oh, my Lord.
All right. Texas Tornado.
What? I won't be sympathetic because I'm willing to do this.
Human Tornado.
The referee's wearing yellow and black. What?
Yeah, what the hell is this?
What?
Don't always wear black and white,
What?
What is this that I'm watching? What the fuck is this?
This looks like more ECW than ECW.
This looks like CZW.
Yeah. What the fuck am I watching?
Like the cat Ernest Miller. Like, what the hell?
Somebody call his mama.
There you go.
It is
That's the
CZW,
guy. Ennis
Dan.
Miller. There you go.
Who is this little? Is that? Okay, wait. Is that a kid or is that?
Oh my god!
This is fucking horrible.
What?
Oh
the
my
hell?
God! It's just...
Is that a dwarf wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's got.
What the fuck am I watching? I
Oh,
don't
the bit where the
understand.
music comes on, it
Oh
does
my
the mod
God.
song. It's the funniest shit in the world. Jeremy, WWE champion.
I've seen something like this before. Dude.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, because I've
God,
posted it
yeah.
about a million times in Fanboy Rage page.
What the
And
fuck
was
is
like,
that?
tell me wrestling is fake.
Oh, God.
Let me gently kick you a little bit.
Oh my God!
Oh, it's brilliant. Oh,
And then this
Yeah.
has got a little woman.
Oh my
I
God!
love that.
Yeah, Human Tornado. I think trumps everybody here. I think that.
Human
yeah.
Tornado should have been champion.
Yep,
16 time champion.
16 times. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I remember that wrestler who dresses up like Michael Jackson,
Mm.
and he does all. Have you
Russian
seen
guy,
that
yeah.
one?
Yeah, I've seen that
Oh,
one.
is it Russian? Oh,
He's
God.
Russian,
So
yeah.
he's not a black guy. Well,
No.
By the way, guys, if I ever do anything like this, you can kick me.
Yeah, I will.
If you
Well,
do
the-
anything like this, I will come and be your manager and cut promos for you. Swear to God.
I mean,
That's
can I just
one-
kick you in? Can I just kick you in general? I mean,
Yeah, can we kick him in general?
If he does that, you not.
But yeah,
touch him.
doing a Michael Jackson gimmick is one gimmick a white person can get away with, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't even have to do blackface to do Michael Jackson.
Craziest thing I've seen recently is there's a guy that plays Nintendo Switch while he's wrestling. I've seen that gimmick recently. I'm like, how the fuck are you playing video games and wrestling at the same time? That's something I'd like to try to master if I could.
And they're having a dance off.
Too cool should have been a black tag team push to the moon. Yeah. If
Alright,
there were black,
yeah.
there would have
Damn it.
no,
They should have, yeah. Both of them should have been world champions. Damn racist WWE.
been.
All right. Well, I think we can
take it home now. Yeah.
Yeah,
go
we can
ahead,
take it
Jimmy.
home.
Take it home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Vince McMahon, and I hate black wrestlers. Black wrestlers will never be my WWE champion, ever. I hate every single one of them, and I hate every single one of you. Meantime, like, share, subscribe. With me is Cheeto, Ginger Greek with his fucked up haircut, Zam with his birds, Boss Man with his glasses. Cheeto, fix your fucked up hair. I hate it. I hate it so much. Like,
Okay.
share, subscribe. We are NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you've never heard of. And goodbye.